Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. Rahul Gandhi is on a visit to the United States. Speaking at the University of California, Santa Cruz, Rahul Gandhi said that minorities and Dalits are feeling unsafe in India, particularly in the last 9 years. He also said that the new parliament, which was inaugurated this past weekend, was simply a distraction and that the government was running away from real issues. The government has hit back with 2 counts. One, that Rahul is defaming India while he's on foreign soil, and whatever differences there might exist, it has to be sorted out here in India. Also, they're saying that there is no merit in his arguments about minorities or Dalits feeling unsafe, citing statistics that no minorities have been discriminated in government welfare schemes. So is Rahul Gandhi's opposition justified, or is it defamatory to the entire country? That's what we'll debate in a moment here on Brass Tacks. But first, the story of what he said and how the BJP has reacted to it.
Back in March, during his visit to London, Rahul Gandhi sparked a political firestorm after he claimed that Indian democracy was under threat, accusing the BJP of capturing India's institutions and muzzling dissent. Weeks later, in the United States, Rahul has continued the offensive. Speaking at an event in California, Rahul Gandhi criticized the inauguration of the new parliament building and the installation of the Sengol, calling them BJP-manufactured distractions from the real issues affecting the nation.
You know, I think the Parliament House, these are distractions. The real issues in India are unemployment, price rise, spread of anger and hatred. BJP can't really discuss them, so then they have to do the whole scepter thing, you know, lying down and doing all that.
Rahul Gandhi also accused the BJP of spreading hatred in the country, accusing the government of targeting Muslims, Sikhs, Christians and Dalits.
What is happening, for example, to the Muslim community in India today happened to the Dalit community in the 80s. We have to challenge it, we have to fight it.
Rahul Gandhi once again accused the centre of muzzling the opposition and misusing central agencies to crush dissent.
Agencies are used on people. So we also are finding that in some way it had become quite difficult to act politically.
The BJP was quick to hit back at the Congress leader, accusing him of insulting India on foreign soil.
विदेश में जाकर क्या पाना चाहते हैं? इस प्रायोजित कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत वो क्या प्राप्त करने गए हैं? क्या देश के ऊपर कीचड़ उछालना ही उनका एक काम रह गया है?
पहले यूके में जाकर भारत में हस्तक्षेप की मांग करना और आज यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में दुष्प्रचार फैलाना, ये वही राहुल गांधी है जो मोदी विरोध करते करते आज नए पार्लियामेंट का भी विरोध करने लगे।
The Congress party defended Rahul Gandhi's remarks, crediting him for painting the real picture of India under 9 years of the Modi government.
I don't think there's a worse statement than saying that I'm not proud to be an Indian, and that's what Narendra Modi said.
The SCs, the STs, the backwards, the minorities, they all are feeling like second-grade citizens in the country.
Rahul Gandhi once again finds himself in the middle of a political firestorm, launching another offensive from abroad. While the victory in Karnataka has given a much-needed boost to the Congress charge against the Modi government, will this attack backfire on the Congress? Is this dissent or denigration from the former Congress president?
All right, full panel joining us on the talking point number 1 here on Brass Tacks. Shazia Ilmi is national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Ajoy Kumar, national spokesperson of the Congress party. Pawan Verma, author and former diplomat. Abhijit Majumdar is consulting editor with First Post. Shazia Ilmi, what Rahul Gandhi is saying is that there is evidence to show that attacks on minorities, attacks on SC/STs have increased in the last 9 years of the Modi government. He's saying that before 2014, there were no instances of people being killed in the name of cow protection and Gau Mata. But there are now instances of lynching of people, of minorities, Dalits, etc. What is your response?
I think Rahul Gandhi is always skating on thin ice. His claims are often non-corroborated. They are not based on any facts. They're unsubstantiated. And this is yet another example. I think he goes abroad merely to create, not just to demean his country, but also himself, because he becomes a laughing stock. Now he's comparing Muslims of today to Dalits of the 80s, when we all know that it was Indira Gandhi from 80 to 84, and then post that we know what happened in 84, and then Rajiv Gandhi took over. So either he's saying that his government was responsible for the atrocities on the Dalits, just the same way Modi government is. But if you read the history of communal violence and if you see the records of the last few years, you will realize that this is far from true. Communal rioting has actually reduced, and there are very, very few riots and people killed on the watch of the central government or any other. There are many factors for this: better law and order, better policing, more social media, people being more active. But the fact of the matter is that the rioting that has taken place, whether it's Malyana or Hashimpura or Nelli massacre and what have you, are huge in number. Look at the Sikh riots. So I don't know why Rahul Gandhi does this, but he demeans himself just as much as he denigrates India every time he opens his mouth and goes abroad.
So, Dr. Ajay Kumar, the BJP's contention and the central government's contention is, as per NCRB data, the number of communal incidents has come down quite substantially in the last 9 years. They're also asking for an explanation. What do you mean by minorities today are feeling like what Dalits felt in the 1980s? Because for 9 years out of the 10 in the 80s, the Congress was in power. Either Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister or Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister.
So, look, either Shazia and I live in a different planet. If she can come and tell us on the national TV that the minorities or the Dalits are not feeling threatened, and let me substantiate by a very simple method. The American the civil liberties movement got rid of the Jim Crow laws. Is there discrimination? Is there more attacks against the black people? The similar situation. And Zakat, the fact is that, look, institutionalized othering of minority community has never happened. Never happened in independent India. What we saw in the inauguration of the parliament was, I told, there is a WhatsApp photo which is true, which showed Pandit Nehru and all Maulana Azad ji and Sardar Patel, all of them in the photo. And this is a photo where the Prime Minister's coronation with the scepter and all that stuff, which Mr. Gandhi correctly said. Is that the democracy we want to look forward to? And we are upset that Mr. Gandhi went and just showed the mirror there. What about the Prime Minister insulting this whole India by doing the kind of activities he does? He lies down in front, he does this, there is nobody, doesn't call the president. He doesn't call the vice president.
What are you saying? Do you even realize what you're saying?
It makes it into some... One sec, let me...
Ajay,
can I complete?
Shazia,
I didn't interrupt you, so let me complete. Can I... Shazia ji, I don't interrupt, so please don't interrupt me. Really request you. Let me complete. Thank you. And yeah, thanks. Thanks, Shazia. So my question is very simple. What did Mr. Gandhi say? He said about the government. What is it about attacking the government of India? Is it attacking anybody else? We are attacking the government for his policies. And he correctly said, what did he say? I went on Bharat Jodo Yatra and they tried to stop me. He said that the Prime Minister seems to, if he stands next to God, he can explain, we can explain the universe to him, and correctly so. Because you remember the Prime Minister said that I chose a cloudy day so that the radars cannot detect the aeroplanes. If you remember, the Prime Minister also said to the children of Assam on one of those organized TV show that, oh, climate change is not there. When you're old, you feel cold. So, same thing is people are
No, but Ajay Kumar, let's stick to the issue at hand. Let's stick to the issue at hand. What the BJP's contention is, show us either data which shows communal incidents have gone up, or that BJP is discriminating against Muslims when it comes to welfare schemes and things like that. They're not discriminatory. Is the contention by the BJP government.
First question, data, first of all. Okay, let's go by government. All the minority scholarship schemes have been abandoned. The central government does data. You can Google it. If anybody is on the TV show, you can ask your research guys to do it. That's secondary. What about the systematic othering of Muslim, the lynching of Muslim, the burning of 2 guys in Haryana? The destruction of 300 odd churches in Manipur.
What lynching?
What are we talking? And then you're saying that one sec, the 2 people who got lynched who were transporting.
Can I come in now? May I be allowed to speak?
One sec, Shazia, let me clarify. The Mantu Manesar, who you guys are,
Ajay,
made him into some kind of a state.
Ajay, you said a lot of things, and I would like to take them.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Ajay.
Go ahead.
Ajay, let me come in. You said many things.
Go ahead.
Okay, about lynchings. In this country, and it's sad that something like lynching happens. but it's happening to Dalits, it's happening to an Ankit Tyagi, it's happening to people of all castes and religions, and it's not a great thing. But it's not that it's happening all the time. And you have incidents when this has happened, and they have been punished. The law and order remains a state subject. How can you place the blame on Modiji's door? So how do you make it about Modi? I don't know. Two, if you see the history of communal violence and the rioting that has taken place, you realize that rioting has actually come down. I mean, it's amazing that how the numbers have fallen, and whether it's Hindus or Muslims, there has been far more protection by the state. So, and you know, if you have so much of hatred and you're creating this fear, you can say it's a subjective thing. People are living in a state of fear.
So
how do you quantify that?
Yeah, let me
how
ask.
Do you quantify that?
Let me ask.
40%.
Yeah.
Last thing. Figures. Last thing. I will not speak after that. You know, the dropout rate, Zaka, for Muslim girls, dropout rate for Muslim girls' education at the primary level and secondary level was 70%. It has actually come down to 30% in the last 9 years, which means 40% more Muslim girls go to schools.
Okay.
If you see the Awas Yojana
fair enough.
of
Let me ask Pawan Verma and Abhijit Majumdar. They've been waiting patiently. One second, Shazia, please. Pawan Verma, the point that Rahul Gandhi made, which the BJP has taken grave exception to, is he has ridiculed this whole new parliament inauguration, the Sengol, and I think the exact words that he used was lying down and all that, almost in a mocking kind of a tone. Is the BJP, does it have a point when it says, you know, what Mr. Modi was trying to do was to give a sort of pride of place, if you will, to the Sengol? Of course, whether it was used as an instrument of transfer of power, you know, the history on that may be disputed. But the fact is that this was a Chola era relic that was given to Pandit Nehru, and it was then consigned to a museum. What Mr. Modi was trying to do was to bring back some kind of a civilizational reconnect to India's historic democratic traditions using the Sengol as a symbol.
Thank you, Zaka. First, I want to just say, if you'll correct your description, where I'm either described as an author and ex-diplomat, which are both true. But I may not be part of any political party, but I am in politics. I have been a former member of Parliament of Rajya Sabha and a cabinet minister in Bihar, and still very much in mainstream politics, but not part of any political party. Having said that, you see, my issue, if you're asking my views on Parliament, I would say that in a democracy there were 2 or 3 shades of opinion on that decision. There was one view which held that the existing parliament building has been a historical witness to the making of New India and should be retained. The other view was that it should be refurbished, modernized and retained. And a third view was that we shouldn't spend so much money on a new building. Whatever the past, we have a new building. It's a modern building. It's a spacious building. By all accounts, a great deal of thought has gone into the making of the new parliament, representing all parts of India. And I think now that it's been made, we should welcome it. Now, as far as the Sengol and the inauguration is concerned, I have in a column recently written that I would have been happier if the President of India, who heads Parliament under Article 79 of the Constitution, which expressly states that the Parliament consists of the President and the 2 houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
If the President of India would have inaugurated the Parliament. I have also said that if the President had done so, we would have had the presence of the Vice President of India who chairs the Rajya Sabha. Be that as it may, that is a question the government took. I differ with it, but I still welcome the new parliament building. Now, as regards the Sengol, you see, being secular does not mean being anti-religion. We have on Parliament, in Rashtrapati Bhavan and everywhere in India, the 3 lions. They belong to the era of Ashok the Great, who was a Buddhist. our Independence Day speech by any Prime Minister is made from the ramparts of the Red Fort, which was built by Emperor Shah Jahan, who was a Muslim, and within that palace he has a beautiful mosque. So, in that sense, we are not anti-religious, but we have to be equivalent to all faiths. Now, I'm happy that in the inauguration of the new parliament, there was an all-faith prayer meeting. Where the Sengol is concerned, my personal view is that it was the symbol of transfer of power, of a great and highly refined major power in the making of India's civilizational history, the Chola kingdom. It was given, forget the controversy, whether to Mountbatten and then to Jawaharlal Nehru or directly to Jawaharlal Nehru, specially prepared and consecrated to symbolize the transfer of power to the sovereign people of India.
But historians have contested that, Pawan Verma, including Rajmohan Gandhi, the grandson of Rajaji. He has contested that. He's saying there's no documentary evidence to back that claim.
Okay, let's accept that it is not fully accepted, but the symbolism of the Sengol is, I think, not in doubt. It symbolizes transfer of power, and we have evidence to believe that it was in the possession of a nation on the eve of its independence, which happens to be 14th August 1947. Now, for whatever reasons, and I don't doubt their bona fides, the Congress did not use it, and it was relegated to relative anonymity in a museum in Allahabad. A new government which built the new parliament has decided to give it its due place in its own wisdom as a representative of a civilizational history, and I think any controversy over it is unnecessary. After all, the parliament consists of many symbols which belong to many faiths. I mean, if you enter parliament, right at the beginning, I remember when I first went into Rajya Sabha, the saying inside is from the Upanishads, Udar Charitanam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So you have a certain symbolism. The BJP may have used it for political reasons, but it's not entirely out of place or necessarily partisan, because there are many aspects of parliament and which are
so let me also ask Abhijit Majumdar this. Fair enough. No, the Ashok Chakra itself, was a Buddhist symbol that's there on our national flag. It's there in the Parliament building. It's there as part of our official seal and emblems. But let me ask Abhijit Majumdar, the contention that the BJP is saying that Rahul Gandhi goes to foreign soil every time and he criticizes India and he criticizes the government from there. Well, what difference does it make where he's criticizing from? He's an opposition politician. His job is to criticize the government. Whether he does it in New Delhi or whether he does it in San Francisco, how is that a crime?
No, it's not a crime, Zaka, but it's certainly, the times that we live in, the information that we have got on our hands, when people like George Soros openly says that he is waging a war against the current Indian government, and because he thinks that it's autocratic and all that, and he's funding. He announced a $1 billion funding to weaken democracies like this. When the Congress party doesn't divulge, doesn't bring to public sphere the MOU it signed with CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, then it is only fair that there is some kind of transparency who Rahul Gandhi meets, more than the content of his speeches, which is anyway pretty thin, in my opinion. There might be other opinion about it, but who is he meeting? I mean, some of the list that is circulating in public of his itinerary that is circulating in public, there are certain people linked to organizations which are linked to Jamaat, Muslim Brotherhood, and have had a very, very adversarial position on India's on Kashmir to India. My point is, does Rahul Gandhi ever meet a Hindu group when he is abroad? Hindu interest group, does he ever meet? I mean, Alokji, all due respect, he said that, never in his independent India's history has been the othering of Muslims so acute. Now, my point is that there is, does Congress have data to back it? Have lynchings happened only of Muslims by Hindus? There are, there's so many times Hindus have been beheaded. I mean, there have been 6 or 7 beheadings after this Nupur Sharma episode, calling for Sat Tan Se Juda, with those chants on video. Has Rahul Gandhi even once talked about that? The othering of Hindus, on the other hand, has been pretty categorical, clear under Congress. And official, the Prime Minister said that the first right to resources of this nation is of minorities. Why? Where is the right to equality? Are Hindus second-class citizens in the only land that, in which the faith is born, or the philosophy is this thing? Are, the communal, which even Digvijay Singh, as a, surprisingly and exceptionally opposed, that UPA was, about to bring, would have made only Hindus responsible for communal violence, and the perennial victims would be minorities. That is official, certified othering.
Okay. So, Ajay Kumar, respond. I mean, othering can't be just of one community. Abhijit Majumdar's contention is the othering has also happened to the other community. Yeah, Abhijit, you've made your point. Let Dr. Ajay Kumar now respond. Yeah. Ajay Kumar.
First question is, what is this lies on the TV, Mr. Majumdar? 6, 7 beheaded. How many lynched? So let's go on to the data of the lynching data in the past 10 years. First question.
So let's have the data.
The othering or the other, how many? Once I didn't interrupt you, sir. Please show the dignity to not interrupt me. We have said you don't do the caste census. You don't do the OBC caste census, Dalit census. You are against the majority of Hindus, sir. You don't want majority to come because you want to carry on the Govalkar's philosophy. Govalkar and RSS philosophy, so that the Dalits and the scheduled tribes cannot come up? First question. The third question is, Mr. Manmohan Singh said the resources of this country are for all the people of downtrodden women, minority, Dalits and everybody else, and I still believe it, and any affirmative action government will think about it. Fourth issue. The fourth issue, and I'll answer you point by point. You seem to be offended on Communist Party. Chinese have captured the land. They have captured India land. They are under Depsang and everything else, and you don't seem to be offended? When Chinese are taking our land, you don't offended, and then you come and spill some specious facts on the TV? I am offended that the Chinese have taken over our land. Aren't you offended, sir? So that is, you're not offended. And then you come and throw one googly here. 3 things. How many people, no, one sec. How many people does he meet? Are there not Hindus in, and suddenly Hindu groups, Muslim Jamaat, you can say anything? First of all, gentlemen, please don't spew lies. If you have facts, show me the link to the Jamaat, because I will tell you that whether the BJP is rightly involved in all kinds of anti-national activity. Investigation to Pulwama, you have compromised the integrity of the country. Chinese are inside the country, you don't say a word. And the most important thing is,
I mean, who signed a mysterious MOU with the Communist Party?
One second, let him finish. I'll come to both Shazia and Abhijit to respond, but let Ajay Kumar finish.
Yeah. No. It's secondly because it's important for when guys like Mr. Majumdar come, offended with Chinese party, what is it, 3,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, everybody saying that the Chinese have gotten, no reply at all. Arunachal, they're changing the names. Manipur is burning, no reply at all. And the resources, if you're so clear on the majority of Hindus, you're anti-Hindu for the simple reason, sir, why aren't you doing the caste census?
Okay.
So that the resources which are the government
you've
resources
made those
can
points.
Be, no, one sec. No, I need to finish. No, one sec. There are three people. One sec, Zaka, I'm a little touch aggrieved because on Sengol, I want to correct my good friend Pawan Verma. Mr. Anno Dorai, it is not from Chola error. It was made during independence by this temple in Tamil Nadu. It is not handed over from Chola era, first point. Second issue was, it was kept as a golden stick for the simple reason is, Pandit Nehru was a die-hard Democrat. And he didn't believe that it was a handover of power. If you don't understand that, and here is a Prime Minister who is handing over power and you're saying that it is the most dignified action, whether it is Rajmohan Gandhi, and I would recommend everybody to read what Anna Dorai wrote. It is very valuable for, and even Anna Dorai from Tamil Nadu was offended for Pandit Nehru to even take that. He said, Mr. Nehru has made a mistake. The article is available. But last and most important, how can these guys come on TV and say, spew lies after lies? We are also what is reservation for who brought the reservation for the scheduled caste? Is that anti-Hindu? Who is trying to increase the reservation for whether it is the OBC? Is that anti-Hindu when majority are Hindus? So if it is anti-small group of people, you have the right. And please don't come on national TV. No, one sec. Don't come and say Jamaat.
You've spoken quite a bit. Let Abhijit respond. Sir, please. I've given you uninterrupted time.
First question is,
I've given you uninterrupted time.
Come on TV and spew lies.
Abhijit, one point that he's asked
and
for.
You're not offended by Chinese inside Mr. Mazumdar.
One second.
Chinese are 2,000 square kilometers, not offended. Shame on you, sir.
One second. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad. He's free to meet whoever he wants to meet. All this Jamaat and Muslim Brotherhood bit, this is all unverified information, Abhijit.
No, but these are Muslim groups. All I have asked, he's twisting because he's trying to sort of, run around trees and lie, and also he's misinformed. But the point is, I have just asked if he
what is misinformed? Tell me, what am I misinformed?
Muslim group. Is he meeting also Hindu groups? Under whose rule did India lose the maximum amount of land to China? Why does he evade the question, run away when I said,
So please, now it is okay. So now it is okay. So now it is okay.
One at a time. Dr. Kumar, please. Dr. Kumar, please. Abhijit did not interrupt you. Yeah, Abhijit, make your point, yeah.
Why is he not answering all that?
No.
Calling others liar and all that?
No. One second. The personal attacks aside, and I don't encourage anyone making personal attacks, but the point that, again, Rahul Gandhi, he's giving a speech in Stanford later tonight, early tomorrow morning. It's called Global Equilibrium. He's going to make the same point about the Chinese squatting on Indian land. Abhijit.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Rahul Gandhi is also going to make the same point that he made in Cambridge, that you allowed the Chinese to come in, they're sitting on Indian land. How come that's not a compromise to national security? But he goes abroad and he criticizes the government. That somehow is an affront to India.
First of all, the entire border is nebulous. My point is, entire huge tracts of land has gone to the Chinese under Congress rule. So Congress has no moral stand to now,
So now you can give more.
Now manufacture lies and say that the Chinese have come and occupied land here.
Shazia to respond, and then Pawan Verma also wants to come in. Yeah. I think one second. I think we're moving away. We're moving away from the crux of the debate. One second, please.
Any kind of stories on TV, my friend.
Sir, one second. Shazia, the point again, it comes back to this, that Rahul Gandhi is an opposition politician. He's free to go wherever in the world. He's free to meet whoever he wants to meet. And he is going to criticize the government. That's his job. Why do you expect an opposition leader to sing your praises?
Do you know why I say this? Because Rahul Gandhi, as a senior leader and somebody who is the de facto leader of the Congress party, denigrates India, brings down the institutions, and mocks the democracy, asks Europeans, asks Britain and Germany to intervene in Indian matters and disrespect sovereignty. That is very different from criticizing Indian policies. I'll give you two examples. I was listening to Hardeep Puri ji just now, and he said that when he was in the UN as an ambassador, Advani ji, who was not in the part of the ruling party at that point of time, was visiting. And then they asked him to speak, and he spoke. And it was about India, it was not about criticism of the Congress government. Similarly, when Narasimha Rao was there, and they had to have a delegation to the UN, he actually asked Vajpayee ji to lead it because there are some things that are not done. You do not disrespect Indian sovereignty. You do not beg other countries to intervene in the internal affairs of your country. You do not bring down the institutions that govern your country and that run the country, because that is just, and also you have to be honest. Rahul Gandhi spoke for 43 minutes in the parliament. And what does he say? We're not allowed to speak. What did he say just now? He said democracy is very difficult. It's not working in India. It's in peril. And politics is very difficult. They just won the elections in Karnataka. So I'm just talking about how unsubstantiated they are. I mean, my friend can go on and on, Ajoyji, and talk about, but we all know what happened in '62. We all know the Himalayan blunders of Nehruji. Let's not even go there. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. So let's not even go there. I'm not even going there. I'm just talking about what Rahul Gandhi said today. That it's difficult to do politics in India. He lied about the fact that he's not allowed to speak in the parliament.
Pawan
so,
Verma,
I mean, I'm just saying, don't tell lies about your own country.
Difficult to do politics in India part, let me ask Pawan Verma this. I think it was in the context of that agencies are being used against the opposition. Therefore, nobody in the opposition wants to speak out against his government strongly because there is the fear of the agencies. Is there merit in that argument? There was, I think, a report that was put out by one of the papers some months ago about how in the last 9 years, more than 90% of the cases by the Enforcement Directorate, in this case one agency, was against the opposition. When the UPA was in power, I think it was about 50% or 55%. Pawan Verma.
Yeah, Zaka, I want to just quickly, I know the time is short, sum up what I feel when political leaders from different parties go abroad. I have been a diplomat and I am now in politics. I believe in whatever one says abroad about internal issues within the country. We are not a banana republic that we have to conform like the North Koreans do in pure praise. But at the same time, what we say needs to be a little nuanced. Now, I believe Mr. Rahul Gandhi, as an opposition leader, is free to criticize what he thinks is wrong about India abroad. On the other hand, he must preface everything he says by the one pivotal sentence that we are capable within India of solving our own problems. Otherwise, the impression becomes that he is more or less appealing to a foreign audience to help or intervene in what is happening in India, which is not the case, and I'm sure it was not his intention either.
No, so the Congress's contention, I just want to underline this.
Thirdly,
just give me one second, just 10 seconds.
On
that bit that you said, the Congress has clarified after his last speech, I think it was in Cambridge, the Congress is saying that if you listen to the entire speech, nowhere is he calling for intervention by the European countries or by the United States. That's their contention, but go on, please, yeah. Pawan Verma.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe it was not his intention. Maybe it was about misinterpretation, but that is an area one should not even go close to. Thirdly, I want to say that when you are speaking abroad, there has to be, apart from the criticism of the current regime in the country, which may have very valid points, and one of them certainly is valid, whatever my good friend Shazia says, that there is a level of othering in this country which has never happened in the past. There is serious social disharmony and there is the potential of great endemic instability by the growing Hindu-Muslim divide. But that being as it may, I would like Mr. Rahul Gandhi to speak more about what is the Congress party's agenda. What does it stand for? The values it represents. What are the changes it would like to bring to India? What is the content of their program? Perhaps in doing that, they'll be able to make a better and more constructive critique of what they think is going wrong in India than merely in a unidimensional way going abroad and criticizing the current government.
Okay.
So I would submit to Ajoy, also a good friend, that you must speak about your own agenda. It cannot be only about anti-Modi.
Okay. Ajay Kumar, you know, one is this anti-Modi thing. What are you offering? What is the alternative that you're offering? That is a valid question. But I also want to ask, you know, when the people of India are watching this, and you can ridicule the Sengol ceremony and the religious nature of it, so on and so forth. But when the people are watching this, one of the things that the BJP says is that, look, we are only giving a place of respect to something that we believe should have been done 75 years ago. Instead, it was confined to a museum and described as a golden walking stick presented to Pandit Nehru.
First of all, so clarification, it was not, it's a golden stick. People are spreading canards and untruth as far as the Anand Bhavan goes. In fact, Mr. Pandit Nehru gave his whole property to the nation, but secondary. We are offended because of the function. You're not offended by the wrestlers who have been the women who won the gold medals for this country being hammered and dragged. So where is this offense? You know, I'm offended by this discussion. That you are not offended by farmers being beaten up. You're not offended by the
yesterday
Dalits
at 9
being
p.m. I did the whole wrestlers show.
People being, one sec.
One of your colleagues was, one of your colleagues was on the show. Yesterday at 9 p.m. we did wrestlers.
I'm with you.
Go on,
Zaka, I'll just complete. Okay. So, what I'm saying is, what should we be offended? Offended is when a guy like Brij Bhushan Singh sits in the parliament. Sengol is okay, but Brij Bhushan Singh can sit a POSCO accused. That doesn't offend us. Where is this country going? Tell me something when every foreign institution is bad, they will say, we want prime ministers all over the world. He says, मुझे शर्म आती थी जब मैं बात, can I complete it, Shazi? I didn't interrupt. मुझे शर्म आती थी कि आपको शर्म आता था कि जगह अगर आप बोलते कि आप इंडिया से हो, ये जब बोलते विदेश में तो सब चंगासी. So my question is very simple, sir. The question is, every institution across from different independent, Pew Research, everybody else is saying that the democracy is under threat. It is not from when they're speaking, it is okay. When Rahul Gandhi speaks in India, are you listening to him? Are you listening to the opposition? Are you listening to the people? And you're saying, I'm offended because he went abroad. Bharat mein nahi sunoge, Videsh mein jab hum bolte to aap chid jate ho. What is the option? You don't listen to people in India. You don't let us speak abroad.
Abhijit, respond. I think the one of the things that the opposition is also saying on the same day, almost at the same time, that the parliament inauguration was happening, Delhi police was dragging away Indian women Olympian wrestlers who've been sitting on a protest, you know, not for their own selfish interest or anything. They're sitting there because they want this man who they believe is a sexual offender to be arrested. Abhijit.
So, you know, that's an entirely different issue, and all sorts of things are coming out now, Zaka, from there. I mean, the panel, the inquiry committee that was set up with Maricom as head, they found that all the allegations, one in Turkey, one in Mongolia, I believe, that Brij Bhushan had molested somebody. It turned out that his passport is not even stamped for those countries. He never went. Second is they, you know, for a long time they refused to file an FIR. Then now the POXO case, the girl, you know, apparently a minor. It's coming. You know, now there are reports that she has two birth certificates, 2 years apart. One of 2004, one of 2006. Now the point is, Delhi police has filed an FIR. The Supreme Court has taken up the case. Now, what is happening? I mean, let the court decide. This is, you know, why is there such a brouhaha over this?
Okay. No, the brouhaha happens to be because, A, these are grave allegations against a person who is in a position of power.
Grave allegations, I can't say that I'm a celebrity.
Grave allegations against
a celebrity. Whatever I'm saying is golden.
Nobody's saying that. It is, you know, Abhijit, especially in the last few years, the ground has shifted when it comes to grave allegations of sexual assault and sexual harassment against women, and especially against a person who is in a position of power, and he continues to be in that position of power. But anyway, Shazia, last word. I've got to wrap up in a minute.
Yes. You know, this is a country where Ajmal Kasab, the worst perpetrator of terror against India, and the symbol of that, was given a hearing. There is an inquiry in place. There are FIRs that are done. And I'm sure if something comes, something is true about the wrongdoing, he'll be punished. Okay. But I don't know why we can't have faith in that. And to use that opportunity to the parliament and besmirch it with this other protest that is happening and to equate the two is not fair. I'm all for women and I'm all for the fact that no woman should have to say that and have to protest against sexual harassment. But let there be an inquiry. Okay. This is after all rule of law. Whether it's an elected member or not doesn't matter. It can be anybody.
All right, 10 seconds. I got to wrap up. I'm completely out of time. Ajay Kumar, 10 seconds. Not more than 10 seconds.
You just keep going from one goalpost to the other.
Okay.
Esteemed panelists, Shazia is a lady. No, one sec. Shazia is a lady. Not a single person has spoken.
I know,
Mr. Abhijit says they
had
to go to Supreme Court, sir. They had to go to Supreme Court to get an FIR registered. So please don't come on national TV and tell us stories like this.
And they did.
The Supreme Court ordered the Delhi police. They were not registering an FIR.
I'm out of time. I'm out of time. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much. I'm completely out of time. Shazia Ilmi, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Abhijit Majumdar and Pawan Verma. Thank you for joining us.